Beginning in 2021, prosecutors pursued and secured more than 150 criminal convictions and prison sentences in excess of 3 centuries against members of the violent gang North Pack. Prosecutors secured convictions against every defendant in the gang MG, in addition to major prosecutions against the Wilmington area gang Shoot to Kill, Touch Money Gang, and Only My Brothers, among others. Now, recently, Attorney General Kathy Jennings announced that the Department of Justice has secured the indictment of 10 individuals on more than 130 criminal charges stemming from their involvement in the Wilmington area gang Exit 4, also known as the Mag and Mag Boys. Exit 4 is the latest gang indictment that law enforcement have secured in recent years between January 2020 and December 2024. Members of Exit 4 are alleged to have committed crimes, including the murder of at least 3 victims, Khali, Lamir Bey, Letitia Hill, and Quammer Wise. July of 2020 in Delaware was the most violent month in recent memory. No other month had seen that many gunshot victims. 29 people had been shot, 9 fatally. Khali Lamir Bey was working on changing his life, mentoring youth, and even had plans of heading to North Carolina. But the 24-year-old's aspirations were stolen from him when he was fatally shot in Wilmington's East Side neighborhood. Lamir Bey was shot shortly before 2 a.m. on July 29, 2020, while in the 900 block of North Lombard Street. He was taken to a hospital in critical condition. He died later that night. He was described as having an amazing infectious smile and a love for football. He had graduated from the Hope Commission's re-entry program the year prior. In a testimonial posted on the Hope Commission's website, Lamir Bey said he learned a lot from the program. I learned how to be patient and to never quit even when you're at your breaking point, and also how to keep a job and maintain a job. To do what's best.
I ain't gonna cap, bro. I remember when 8 Ball was a little nigga. Little. It's crazy. 'Cause his big brother was my little nigga. That shit crazy. His big brother is my little nigga. They both got killed. Like, that's wild. They both was reckless.
For me and not others. And I looked at other people's mistakes so that I can do better for me and my loved ones. I also learned if you really want to do better, you will by being in this program. About 3 hours before he was shot, 4 other people were wounded by gunfire. 2 of those victims, 17-year-old Nazir Seth and 23-year-old Alexis Cumberbitch, died.
I don't even know them.
In mid-April of 2021, police were searching for the person or persons responsible for shooting 3 women, killing one of them. It happened at 10th and Pine Streets in Wilmington. A mile and a half away, 2 officers were hurt in a crash heading to that shooting. I think this was a situation where she was at the wrong spot at the wrong time. I have no idea, said the victim's sister. Letitia Hill, affectionately known as TT, was known for her kindness, but most importantly, she was loved. Around 2 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon, the 37-year-old was gunned down with 2 other women on the 1000 block of North Pine Street. Her sister says TT was on her way to work when the gunfire broke out. A 26-year-old woman and a 23-year-old woman were also shot. They were rushed to the hospital, where they remained in stable condition until release. Sadly, TT didn't make it. This is ridiculous. People just dying left and right for no daggone reason, innocent bystanders, and I'm deeply hurt, the sister said. Justice will be served, she said. And now, with the indictment, the family may finally get some closure. The next situation took place recently, on September 4th of 2024. Court documents show that police were called to the 700 block of East 22nd Street at 10:28 p.m. There, they found 19-year-old Quammer Wise lying on his back on a hill with gunshot wounds to his hip and face. Wise was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where he died 3 days later. Police found 2 9mm shell casings on the sidewalk nearby. This information comes from court records and pulled surveillance footage from Eddie's Market. The surveillance video showed Wise entering the store, buying 2 bottled drinks and leaving the store. 1 minute after Wise left the store, the drinks in one hand and his cell phone in the other, 2 other men entered. They left Eddie's Market about 37
Oh
seconds
no,
later,
that
court
ain't
documents
Richardson's.
state,
That's
and
that
walked
store
toward
through the
Wise.
hood that I do
The
not
man
go
later
through.
identified as Amir Henry, then pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots at Wise at point-blank range before fleeing the scene. Court records and police did not say why Henry shot Wise. Detectives later identified Henry as a suspect, and he was taken into custody by Wilmington and Newcastle County Police. Amir Henry is not the only person charged with murder though. In regard to the ones that were charged with murder, we are unsure which one they participated in at the moment. However, we did a little background on those that were charged with murder. First up, we have Philip Harris. One situation with him happened on January 10, 2020. A Newark police officer on patrol noticed a group of 5 males that appeared to be smoking marijuana outside of the Red Roof Inn, located at 1119 South College Avenue. According to the lieutenant, the officer ordered the males to stop, and they fled. Some of the males fled into the building, while one fled on foot across Old Cooch's Bridge Road. The officer pursued this male, whom he caught, and took him into custody without further incident.
Why would you
The man, later identified as Philip Harris, was found to have discarded a handgun as he fled on foot. The handgun, which was loaded, was recovered next to a residence.
Why the fuck would you run? All the nigga did was tell you stop smoking.
On October 9, 2020, Captain Brad Evans of the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office reported that Deputy A.D. Peter, while conducting radar on Interstate 85 near the 31-mile marker, clocked a vehicle traveling 94 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone. The driver failed to stop, accelerating to 116 miles per hour before pulling over on the shoulder. While checking the registration and license, the driver, Charles Myers, fled, exiting at the Warfield exit and running a stop sign at Sturgeon Road. Peter alerted dispatch and requested K-9 assistance. Deputies Connell and Clayton, along with a K-9, tracked the suspects and discovered a Glock 9mm magazine, a blue P80 handgun, and a loaded silver Taurus .45 pistol. The weapons were secured and photographed. A vehicle search revealed a stolen Glock 35 with an extended magazine under the front passenger seat. 2 cell phones were found, along with a pair of jeans containing a debit card and a Delaware driver's license belonging to Philip Harris Randolph, identified as the driver. They would be arrested about 2 weeks later. May 25, 2023. Police discovered a 34-year-old male with gunshot wounds. The incident took place around 3:55 p.m. in the 200 block of North Franklin Street. The victim was promptly transported to the hospital and was in critical condition. Law enforcement identified 24-year-old Nair Small as a suspect. After presenting the case to the Newcastle County Grand Jury on November 6, 2023, an indictment for Small was returned. The following day, Small was arrested without incident by members of the Criminal Investigations Division and Crime Gun Intelligence Center. Further investigations by detectives led to the identification of Old Philip Harris as the second suspect. An indictment for Harris was returned after the case was presented to the Newcastle County Grand Jury on December 18, 2023. Harris Randolph was subsequently arrested in New Jersey on December 21 and extradited to Delaware on January 2. Small faces several charges, including 6 counts of first-degree attempted murder, 6 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a person prohibited, first and second-degree conspiracy, and receiving stolen property over $1,500. Nair Small is also listed as one of the members that committed murder. However, the charge shouldn't be connected to this shooting because the 34-year-old man that was shot didn't die. At least we don't think so, because the murder would have been listed on the indictment. Dant Richardson is another member of the crew who was charged in one of the murders. He had already been indicted back in 2017 with other members of Exit 4. In that case, he was hit with charges of gang participation and 2 counts of drug dealing. However, in June of 2022, Delaware State Police arrested Dant Richardson, 23, of Wilmington, for 2 carjackings. They occurred in early January of 2022 in the North Wilmington area. The first incident occurred at approximately 9:03 p.m. Wednesday, January 5, 2022, in the parking lot of Wawa, located at 1702 Rocky Run Parkway, Wilmington. The investigation determined a black male suspect approached a 42-year-old male victim as he exited his vehicle in the parking lot. The suspect demanded the victim out of the vehicle and displayed a handgun tucked in his waistband. The victim pushed the suspect away but was physically assaulted by the suspect. The victim then ran towards the rear of the business. His vehicle was unable to be operated because the victim still had the key fob in his possession. The suspect then fled the scene in a gold sedan. A short time later, at approximately 9:04 p.m., the same suspect who exited a gold sedan approached a second victim in the parking lot of the Green Turtle, located at 307 Rocky Run Parkway, Wilmington. The suspect approached a 26-year-old victim, pointed a handgun at him, and demanded the victim's car keys, said Hatchell. The victim complied and the suspect fled the scene in the stolen 2000 Chevrolet Malibu. Through investigative means, troopers identified the suspect as Dant Richardson and obtained warrants for his arrest. On June 9, 2022, troopers executed a search warrant at Richardson's residence and took him into custody without incident. A subsequent search of his residence led to the discovery of a Glock 9mm handgun. Two others, Niamja Rollins and Nasser Watkins, have also been indicted on murder charges. However, their history, if any, is unknown to us at this time. But in addition to the murders, there were also several attempt murders. For example, one individual, Javer Tabern, is charged with 12 counts of attempted murder first degree.
Damn!
One situation, on April 4th of this year, 2024, there was a shooting in the area of 5th and Madison Streets. In the wake of that shooting, Tabern showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. Detectives determined he was involved and arrested him. He was being held on $197,000 cash-only bail. However, probably due to this indictment, he is now being held on a $1,055,000 bail. When we revisit this story, we will get into the nature of some of those other shootings. Moving along, we have Maurice Harrigan. He was charged with 3 attempt murders, as well as other crimes. He had been in a few situations, but we will talk about these for right now. In May of 2021, 17-year-old Maurice Harrigan, his brother Anthony Harrigan, also 17, along with Stanley Jones, 18, were charged as adults with offenses ranging from assault to gun and traffic violations, following a police chase. Delaware authorities informed Maryland State Police late Sunday that a Jeep Patriot, believed to be stolen and connected to several shootings, was heading toward the state line, according to officials. Crazy thing is though, they took the police on a 30-mile chase. Now if you've ever driven 30 miles, that's pretty long, let alone being chased by police. Anyway, when Maryland officers intercepted the Jeep, it struck 2 patrol cars and continued driving down an interstate, eventually veering off a roadway and into a tree line, before the suspects ran into the woods, the statement said. The teens were later found in different areas and arrested, state police said. Officers said they recovered 2 guns that were tossed during the chase. Anthony, who police said was the driver of the Jeep, was charged with 4 counts of first-degree assault, multiple firearm violations, motor vehicle theft and traffic-related charges. Maurice and Jones were accused of being passengers in the Jeep and were charged with multiple firearm violations, motor vehicle theft and traffic-related charges. But this about wraps this one up for now. These guys are arrested, and soon we will learn the details as to which crimes they committed in more depth.
Listen, man, listen. I know about Exit 4. I ain't gonna cap. I don't know them motherfuckers, bro. I don't know them. They getting wild, though. They getting wild, man. Shout out to them motherfuckers that's from out Edgemore, though, man. I got a couple niggas out Edgemore, man. Shout out to them. I can't watch this shit because I thought they was going to be in it. I'm glad they be ducking shit, though. Listen, man. This like my first reaction video. And yeah, I had to react to some Delaware shit, you know? I had to react to some Delaware shit. I don't know, man. I'm out, though. I'm gonna get with y'all in a little bit. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You don't even gotta comment. Just like and subscribe though.